So the first thing that you want to do is do the derivative of g. G prime is f of x. And it is super crucial to link those together. On the AP exam, they will usually give a point for that. You get a whole point just for writing that. So since this is the graph of f, it is g prime, which is good because g prime is your source that you're citing, right? So I didn't make you justify for this first one. We're actually just going to write the answers. What did you put for your critical points? Good, -6, which is also an endpoint, but that's okay. -3, and then 3. If I did ask you to justify, though, it would be because g prime is 0 there. Perfect. So this one does still count as a critical point, and we're going to address that when we get to this one. Okay. So start your sentences. G of x is or g of x has. G of x is increasing. Look at your sticky note. On what interval? Good. -6 to 3 because g prime is positive there or above sea level, but don't write above sea level, okay? G of x is decreasing 3 to 6 because g prime is negative there. Did that part go okay? Justifications, we're good. I'm seeing heads nodding. All right, relative maximums and minimums come from the critical points. They can't be end points though, because that's not relative to anything on the other side. So we're going to write a sentence about both of these. I'm going to start with this one because there's actually a change. G prime changes from what to what at 3? Positive to negative. That means g of x has a what? Good. Relative maximum at x equals 3 because g prime changes from positive to negative there. All right, I'm going to write a sentence for this one too, but you would say g of x has neither a relative maximum or minimum at x equals -3 because, and you're still using g prime as your source. G prime is your source for all of these. But what's the reason? Because g prime does not change sign. Good. And you said it the way I usually like to say it too. You could have also said stays positive there. The only reason I try to get people to stay away from that is what if it was negative instead? You'd have to do stays negative. So just if you say g prime does not change sign there, then you'll always be right. I like methods that work all the time, but I usually try to get everybody to do. All right, this is your candidates test. Candidates are endpoints and critical points. So which numbers are those? Perfect. Now here's where you kind of put the brakes on the whole thing. You have to go back and find all of your areas. Okay, so I'm going to come up here. What did you get for this triangle? 1/2 base times height. That would be 3. Good. This is 1/2 pi r squared. Your radius is 3. Yeah, you can write 4.5 pi. I like fractions. I'm going to write 9/2 pi. Both are correct. That's a personal preference, right? And then this one's going to be negative since it's below sea level. 1/2 times 3 times 3. So -9/2 or -4.5. Again, it doesn't matter. That's personal preference. Did you write the decimal? That's fine. That's fine. Now, where does your accumulation start? Because it's not 0. Good. -3. Do you see how our accumulation starts at -3? So if we go from -3 to -6, we're going backwards. So your answer will be -3. Good. Lots of 3s and 6s in this one. If you accumulate from -3 to -3, you have accumulated precisely nothing. All right, from -3 to +3, we're going forwards now. So 9/2 pi. Let's approximate that. If you approximate pi as 3, 9 times 3 is 27. 27 divided in half is approximately 13.5. It would be a little bit larger than that because I approximated pi as 3, but I like to do that so when you glance through, you can see which one's the biggest, right? And then if we go from -3 all the way to 6, it's 9/2 pi minus 9/2, which let's approximate that. We said this was about 13.5 minus 4.5 is approximately 9. 13.5 minus 4.5 would be approximately 9. All right, so what is the largest number we got off of? Yeah, but now don't write 13.5 though. I just have you do that so you can tell which one it is. You want to put the exact answer. So absolute maximum is 9/2 pi at x equals 3. Absolute minimum is, what's the smallest one? -3, good, at x equals -6. All right, inflection points. Look at your sticky note. That's a change in concavity. That's where the graph we are looking at changes from what to what. Yeah, or decreasing to increasing. Okay, so we're going to say g of x has inflection points at x equals. Now, usually there's a bunch of them because if it keeps on turning around, you get a mess of these. So let's see, what'd you put? -4, -3, 0, and that's it. So -4, -3, and 0, because g prime changes from increasing to decreasing or decreasing to increasing there. And I'm sorry, but that's how I was told you have to write it. So just do it so you get all the points. All right, and then concavity. G of x is concave up. Look at your sticky note. Concave up is where the derivative is increasing. So that would be -6 to -4 union, where else? -3 to 0, because, perfect. G prime is increasing there. And then g of x is concave down, -4 to -3 union, 0 to 6, good. Because g prime is decreasing.